Hey guys, it's Tim. We got some bonus FY pod content for you. I'm here with my wingman, activist, lover, Knicks fan, Cameron Kasky. Cameron, I think you wanted to talk about the big coconut big boy, JB Pritzker, maybe, and some other stuff. You tell me.
Yeah, it's late night. We're doing a late night recording. We did a great interview today for Saturday's episode, but we weren't able to get into some of the buzzier news moments that we definitely wanted to talk about. So first off, RFK is doing his insane autism registry in his continued attacks against people with special needs that are very dehumanizing and dangerous. He has announced that he plans to use Medicare and Medicaid info to track down autism for this Autism Registry. And they're creating a database using insurance claims and medical records and data from wearable devices with health sensors like smartwatches. So this is this insane type of big government that MAGA always claims they're standing against. And yet RFK is doing the most dangerous thing you've ever seen. Governor JB Pritzker, as usual, is setting a great example for how to stand up against Trump by signing an executive order to prevent state agencies from obtaining or disclosing data that personally identifies people with autism unless it's required for medical care or legal matters. Tim, what's your take on this?
Pritzker is like showing the Dem governors how to do it, just for starters. Okay, like the whole Governor Whitmer, I'm going to hug Donald Trump off the plane. Like that's not right for the moment. Pritzker is just, giving a hard no to the worst of the Trump administration. And like, this whole thing is so ridiculous. And they just, RFK just got his handpicked Surgeon General, who's this woo-woo Wiccan, who said that she wants to be able to go pet a cow to determine whether or not she should drink its raw milk. And like, that is the kind of medical expertise that we're bringing to DC. And so, for me, I don't have a lot of experience in autism world, but I wouldn't really want these people like putting me on any lists. Okay. I think that like the federal government and RFK and the woo-woo Wiccan lady and Trump and fascist Stephen Miller putting people on a list based on their medical history, like that seems like a no to me. Small government, folks like myself. It feels like we should all be able to unite against that. But, obviously the cultists are going to go along with it.
And it really goes to show that these people don't really understand what autism is. The language they use to explain it elucidates this issue that they mischaracterize it at every chance they get. RFK was coming out talking about how autistic people can't use the bathroom and they'll never pay taxes. Meanwhile, my younger brother, who has autism, just graduated college this past week. He has 2 jobs, which is more than I do. And it's really a serious issue where RFK is giving health advice and running these government programs. Meanwhile, he sounds like he's somebody who's gargling sand.
Yeah, I saw a picture of your brother post-graduation. You guys were hanging out, you're celebrating, and he's like gooning. I mean, he's like an alpha male.
Do you know what gooning is, Tim?
I think so. I don't really know for sure, but it feels like if somebody was gooning, it would be your brother.
No? And all we can say to that is slay and Holden. It was Tim who said that, not me. Moving on. We've got a new Pope who...
Illinois news. Pritzker and the Pope.
And the Chicago Pope. So first of all, I want everybody to know one thing about this Pope, which is that while certain Cubs fans are claiming him as a Chicago Cubs fan, he is in fact a fan of the White Sox, the far superior team.
Really? You're a White Sox fan?
No, I'm a Milwaukee Brewers fan, which means that I hate the Cubs more than I love most things in my life.
I'm also anti-Cubs, but it's a personal matter. It's not worth getting into on the podcast. I'm thrilled about the new Pope. I'm a cradle Catholic, lapsed gay, so the Catholics, have made a couple errors in my book over the years. But I'm thrilled about the new Pope. He, as best as we can tell, seems like a never Trump Republican. So he's our people. He's my people. It's the first kind of never Trump Pope, I think, which is exciting. I was laughing very much at the MAGAs on social media who were upset about the choice of the Pope. I saw one. I was a little getting into it with one MAGA who was talking about, this is the gorilla mindset guy. He was talking about how the Pope was too woke and too extreme because he supported gun control. like, oh yeah, because traditionally the Pope is just like packing heat. Like the traditional old school MAGA popes. If you go back through the ages, you see a lot of popes with AR-15s. A lot of popes with semi-autos.
Jesus, the carpenter from ancient times, he must have loved, AR-15s, the ancient form of weaponry. Yeah, we've got a new pope who dunked on JD Vance publicly. He's called out Trump's violent immigration rhetoric, and he seems like the type of guy. He was a registered Republican for a while.
He voted in Republican primaries.
Look at that. It seems like he displayed the values that you could only hope we're getting from a pope, and the values that we got from the last pope, which is it is the positive thing to stand up against these things that Jesus probably would have stood up against as well. So thank you, new woke pope, and we can only hope that you continue to be a great example.
I think the never Trump Republican pope, we're thrilled. We haven't done very good in politics, but we've taken Vatican City. The never Trumpers. I'm not a Republican anymore, but neither is this pope. It doesn't seem like. I want to just read a couple of the tweets really quick. This is the new guy. He was retweeting somebody. It's pretty awesome that we have a pope with a Twitter history we can go through now. It's a very kind of creepy modern thing. This was regarding the El Salvador deportations. We can't really call them that. The El Salvador kidnappings. He wrote this about it. Quote, do you not see the suffering? Is your conscience not disturbed? How can you stay quiet? That was a retweet from the current pope talking about the way that we're treating people, that Donald Trump is treating people.
And some of the MAGAs that I'm seeing online, by the way, are trying to claim him and say, no, guys, he was a member of the Republican Party. He's anti-abortion, which, one could only expect probably from a pope. And you see this level of cope with them, where some of them just went right to woke pope, this is the devil. And others are like, no, guys, he's just like an Amy Coney Barrett type, still conservative.
Doesn't get maybe, and who knows, Amy might go woke. It doesn't get much more blunt than this. February 3rd, so 3 months before becoming pope, JD Vance is wrong. It's a tweet. Jesus doesn't ask us to rank our love for others. I do. I mean, I rank my love for people like I rank you versus some of the other people that we deal with here at the Bulwark. But JD Vance is wrong. Jesus doesn't ask us to rank our love for others. I mean, that's about as blunt as it can get. So that's a tough break for JD, who's a Catholic convert who had one pope that stayed alive to tell him to fuck off, basically, and then another pope that just bluntly says that what he's doing is bad. So I don't know. I'm pretty thrilled. It's about the happiest I've felt about what's happening in Vatican City in a hot minute.
Did you watch Conclave?
I thought Conclave was terrible.
Can I do you one better?
Yeah.
I didn't watch Conclave. Moving on to our final topic of the night, Vice President JD Vance has said that we will not intervene in the conflict between India and Pakistan because it is, quote, none of our business. And while I believe the United States should definitely not intervene in this issue, it brings to mind, is Greenland our business? Is Canada our business? What is this approach that they're taking?
Just not to be technical about it, but I do believe that we are arming both Pakistan and India. So it's kind of our business, just in the sense that...
In the sense of the actual word business.
The business, yeah. So it is kind of our business, yeah. JD, you remember, you bring up a good point about Greenland. And JD is wearing that parka where he's looking like a ridiculous, Appalachian penguin waddling around Greenland.
The kid from A Christmas Story.
Yeah, there he is. He's waddling around Greenland, talking about how, this is a country that's very important for our, national security concerns. I don't know if you saw this, Cam. There was a story the other day that we're apparently looking into whether we're going to recruit spies on the ground in Greenland. We're upping our intelligence capabilities. We're going to find the Eskimos up there, I guess, and go into Nuuk and try to recruit a couple of local artisans to spy on their fellow Greenlanders. And so it doesn't feel very consistent on the business side of things.
And you know what else is inconsistent right now is the word intelligence, because while we might be spending more money and effort on intelligence, it seems as though the overall intelligence in the United States is plummeting right now.
Well, I mean, we're not at the top of the game on intelligence when it comes to our leaders in Washington. I mean, we've chosen now The recent picks, as I mentioned, we have the Wiccan who didn't practice medicine as our Surgeon General. Judge Box of Wine, Judge Janine Pirro, who hasn't been a lawyer for 20 years and who was advancing the big lie, is now going to be the U.S. attorney, apparently, in Washington. She's been nominated today as the interim U.S. attorney. We don't have to go through all the greatest hits of Hegseth and Cash. So, I wouldn't say it's like the elite of the elite on the intellectual spectrum that we've got in Washington at the moment.
And with that, all we can say is tune in Saturday for an interview with an Australian anti-communist who in the United States is pretty far left.
It's going to be great. He's amazing. His accent. There's a dingo that is going to be in the episode. It's wonderful.
And leave a comment down below on which of these topics today you think was the most ridiculous.
Thank you. Bye.